starts right now.
The news at 10 on 2 Works For You starts right now.
I knew it immediately. I didn't see anything, but that type of scream, your body, you just knew it.
A 4-year-old boy killed by his family's car. New at 10, a neighbor's desperate attempt to save his life. Also tonight, remembering the youngest victim of the tragedy in Stillwater.
He was so young and he was just such a good boy. He didn't deserve that.
And as survivors recover, new questions about the suspect in the deadly OSU crash.
She was very good about hiding her problems.
Good evening, I'm Brian Sanders. Karen is off tonight. We begin with the latest on the tragedy in Stillwater. The Payne County District Attorney now says she believes the deaths of 4 people in Saturday's homecoming parade were an intentional act. The suspect, 25-year-old Adacia Chambers, could face a 5th charge of second-degree murder. That's because one of the injured is in extremely critical condition. Chambers is being held tonight on a $1 million bond. A judge granted her attorney's request for a psychological evaluation. She's due back in court November 13th. Meanwhile, the youngest victim killed in the crash was 2-year-old Nash Lucas. His mother is recovering tonight from her injuries. 2 Works For You reporter Will Dupree is live with how the community is rallying behind this grieving family. Will?
Well, right now, Brian, people are showing their support for that 2-year-old victim and his family. Many of them are doing more than just adding to the memorial set up here at the scene of the crash. A memorial keeps growing in Stillwater for the victims of Saturday's crash. OSU fans Mackenzie and Hunter Weaver did not know any of the people hurt or killed, but brought flowers anyway to lay at the scene.
I feel that if this were to happen to us or any of the people we knew, that their support would feel nice to us. So I wanted to do that for them.
The memorial extends online, where people are now donating to an OSU student whose son died. Sophomore Nikki Strauch works for the university's parking office. After hearing she lost her 2-year-old son, Nash, Strauch's bosses wanted to help.
If we could raise some money, if nothing else, maybe we could help put that burden to the side for her.
The online fundraiser Stephen Spradling started set an initial goal of raising $5,000, but donations quickly surpassed that amount.
I'm sure there are people giving that don't know her and don't know us, but they know what we are and what we stand for.
He hopes the money will help cover any medical expenses or funeral costs. The family plans to hold a funeral for Nash Lucas Wednesday. People hope their thoughts and prayers will comfort this family coping with this tragedy. And people also started online fundraisers for several other victims. You can find links to those pages on our website. That's kjrh.com. Reporting live in Stillwater, Will Dupree, 2 Works For You.
Nash's father, Josh Lucas, issued this statement, quote, "The outpouring of love from everyone has been appreciated more than words can express, and we're truly in awe of how many people have reached out to us in our time of need." The family wanted to thank the 2 men who helped Nikki after the crash. And some good news tonight for 7-year-old Skiatook girl injured in the crash. Madison Atwell has been up and reading. She also had some visitors today, including Kevin Durant and a few other Oklahoma City Thunder players. OSU students and cheerleaders stopped by as well, along with Miss Oklahoma State. Thunder stars also visited Hadley Wyatt today. They brought big smiles to the 6-year-old's face, along with OSU President Burns Hargis and Governor Mary Fallin. New tonight, we're hearing from a young man well known on his campus as Pistol Pete. He was in the parade Saturday and was also a huge help to families in need. Pistol Pete had just finished his part in the parade and was leaving when he says 2 policemen passed him at a high rate of speed. That's when Taylor Collins trailed behind and jumped to help.
A man had come over and waved us down, said they need a pickup truck to transport some people.
That's when a boy named Alan got into the truck with his father. Another boy was placed in the bed of Collins' truck. Both are still recovering. Collins got a chance to visit Alan at the hospital later. 3 victims are being treated in Tulsa right now. 2 Works For You reporter Nathan Edwards live at St. John Medical Center with an update on their conditions. Nathan?
Well, Brian, not a lot of new information I can tell you tonight, but what I can tell you is one of the victims, Kelly Murphy, has been upgraded to serious condition. And while she and others are recovering here, the suspect, Daisha Chambers, is in jail in Stillwater. And tonight, amid new questions about her mental stability. Shock, an unescapable feeling Floyd Chambers can't let go.
And she wouldn't have done this purposely. I just don't believe that in my heart.
Floyd is the father of Oregon native Daisha Chambers.
And we're going to look into the situation and see what was going through her mind that morning.
The key question everyone is trying to figure out.
This is not her character.
Tonight, prosecutors argue she did it on purpose, saying evidence shows she drove around barricades and ran a red light before driving into the crowd.
She was very good about hiding her problems.
Court documents say Daisha was suicidal at the time of the crash. Floyd Chambers says his daughter has been treated at mental hospitals multiple times in the last 2 years. Today, a judge agreed to a psychological evaluation.
She seems to lack in her ability to understand what we're doing right now.
Drugs and alcohol also in question. Daisha was not given a breathalyzer at the scene, but a forensic lab is processing a blood sample.
And when we get all the test results back, we'll know.
In the meantime, victims recover, and the Chambers family sends their prayers.
That I'm very sorry for those victims and the people who lost their life.
The judge is allowing 2 weeks for the state to file formal charges. Chambers will be back in court next month. Live in Midtown Tulsa, Nathan Edwards, 2 Works for You.
OSU President Burns Hargis delivering a message tonight to those affected by the parade tragedy.
As we've done before, the Oklahoma State family and the Stillwater community will come together. We'll support each other, and we will once again find comfort and strength and the courage to move forward.
If you need to talk to someone about the events in Stillwater, help is available. The Red Cross has a hotline to call. That number is 405-372-1833. You can also reach someone 24 hours a day by calling 211. Some have asked whether there were enough barricades in place during the homecoming parade, and with events this weekend in Tulsa, organizers say not to worry. We talked with the woman in charge of the annual Boo Ha Ha parade. She says the Tulsa Police Department is a huge help when it comes to safety.
We go through everything from barricades, barricade placement, emergency contingency plans, whatever it takes to keep the public safe.
After a man drove into a crowd at the South by Southwest Music Festival last year, the Austin Police Department increased the number of officers at closed intersections. The city also used water-filled barricades and limited the number of permits allowed for pop-up events. Jury selection started today for 22-year-old Rashad Owens. He's charged with capital murder and 24 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after plowing through barricades, killing 4 people and injuring 22 others. Our coverage of the tragedy in Stillwater continues online. You can follow the investigation and see all the stories we've aired on our website, kjrh.com. An update now to breaking news we first brought you at 5. A 4-year-old boy is dead tonight after police say he was crushed by his family's car. New at 10, 2 Works for You reporter Darcy Jackson talks with a neighbor who tried to save the child's life.
Officers say the 4-year-old was inside his family's SUV in the driveway when he put the car in neutral. The car slid down the driveway into the middle of the street and stopped. So the 4-year-old got out and ran around to the front. But that's when the car rolled forward, crushing him behind another car. For neighbor Adam James, it all started with a scream.
I knew it immediately. I didn't see anything, but that type of scream, your body, you just know it.
James ran over to the boy's mother, who found him in the street covered in blood. 911 immediately guided him through CPR.
But when I turned him over, I don't know if he made it or not. But that's when I saw his life leave at that point. It was blood, and it was something different.
Investigators spent much of Monday afternoon trying to figure out how the SUV curved into the street and reached its final resting point.
Well, when she pulled into the driveway, she did not turn the wheel. So when you put a vehicle in neutral, it's going to follow the same track out of the driveway that it did going in. It's unbelievable. Yeah, we're just dumbfounded.
Many people in the area believe unattended children are a problem nearby, making today a sad lesson that came too late.
I wish I could change everything just like that, but I can't. But I hope someone does something because voices need to be heard.
In the meantime, James hopes his neighbors can come to grips over what happened.
We're all connected. That wasn't my son, but I lost his son. But the family was so strong. They were praying and everything, and they're going to make it through. They're going to make it through.
Police say the case has been sent to the district attorney's office, but they don't anticipate any charges being filed. In East Tulsa, Darcy Jackson, 2 Works for You.
2 people were taken to the hospital after a car crashes into a building. It happened at the Rocket Loop on South Peoria. Police say a driver took off after hitting the car that wound up crashing into the building. The 2 people who were hurt are expected to recover.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony, tracking a little bit of rain right now that's in central Arkansas. It's trying to back up into green country, and maybe by tomorrow morning, we may find some of us with some rain showers around here. As you'll see here on our future track radar, the light rain spreads right along the Arkansas border over toward Grove, up toward Miami, down toward Jay, and all the way here toward Tahlequah and back toward Muskogee. So a little bit of rain overnight. Otherwise, right now, because of the clouds, it's a little warmer, a lot warmer than it was last night at this time. 60 degrees in Tulsa, Broken Arrow, and Bixby. A little wider view of things. You'll notice it's still 57 at Bartlesville and 65 at Muskogee, 66 at McAllister. So we're going to talk about how we need some rain, desperately need some rain. Some cool nights are ahead, and we'll also look ahead to trick-or-treating coming up on Saturday night. Brian?
Thanks, Brett. Next at 10, what just cost an Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper his job? Plus, a prayer answered for a Bethany football player who collapsed on the field. And later, the story behind this sinkhole in the middle of a Florida highway.